shall we meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That would be ere the setting of the sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Haddock call.
Anon, anon. There is foul, and foul is there. Hot through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the royal as thou did leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, and for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles, kerns and gallowglasses are supplied. And fortune, on his damn quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's all. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smote with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out a passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er bade farewell nor shook hands, till he unseamed him. From the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
From whence the sun gins its reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, and from whence that spring seems to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels. But the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
As sparrows to eagles or the hare of the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons, overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize a noble Golgotha. I cannot tell. I am faint. My gashes, they cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. What? Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks in his eyes. So he should look, that seems to speak strange things.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, king, where the Norway banners fought the sky, and found our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a sad conflict, confronting him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arms against arms, curbing his lavish spirits, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness!
That night, swearing on the Norway's king, craves composition, nor will he deign him bury of his men, until he dispersed at St. Calm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall betray our bosom interest. Go and pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Anoint thee, witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband to Aleppo's gone, master of the tiger. But in a sea I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee away.
Thou art kind,
And I another.
and I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, and all the quarters that they know. I, the shipman's card, I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary 7 nights 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, eke and pine, and though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall lead him and tossed. Look what I have.
Ooh, show me. Show me.
Here I have the pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward did he.
Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace. The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I've not seen.
What are these? So weird and so wild in their attire that they look not of the earth, yet are on it.
Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once her pudgy fingers laying upon her blackened lips. You should be women, yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you were so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis.
Oh, hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth! Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My friend you greet with present grace, and great prediction of noble having, and royal grace that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time, and say which grain will grow, and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail! Hail! Hail!
Lesser than Macbeth, and the great time.
Thou shalt
of Campbell. The Thane of Campbell lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. Say from whence your strange intelligence, and why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting? Speak! I charge you!
The earth has bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind.
Were such things here as we do speak of, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Campbell too, was it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's there?
The king has happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal ventures in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. And for earnest of greater honor, he bade me call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
The Thane of Campbell lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes? Glance and Thane of Campbell. Greatness is behind. Thank you for your pains. Do you not hope that your children should be kings, and those that promised me Thane of Campbell promise no less to them?
That hope may yet enkindle you unto the crown besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Tell us honest trifles in order to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in the truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock in my ribs against the ease of nature? Present fears less than horrible imaginings. My thought was murder as yet but fantastical shakes so my single state of mind is smothered in surmise. And nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partners rat.
Why, if chance will have me king, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him, and like our strange garments cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, tell me the hour runs through the roughest day.
Is execution done on quarter? Are those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back, but I have spoke to one that did see him die. He frankly reported he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and seek a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like leaving it. He died as one that studied in his death. To throw away the dearest thing is it what a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman in whom I placed an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, so the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only have I left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Noble Banquo, who hath no less deserved, and must be seen no less to have done so, let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to express themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, thanes, kinsmen, and you whose places are the nearest, know I will establish my estate upon our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor shall not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine upon all deservers.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly, take my leave.
Let us after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. 'Tis a peerless kinsman.
The Prince of Cumberland? That is a step which I must fall down or else or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink and the hand ye let that be, which the eye fears when 'tis done to see.
They met me in the day of success, and I had learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned to question them further, they made themselves into air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who hailed me Thane of Cawdor. Which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail, King, thou shalt be!" But this have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou might not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, at Cawdor, and shall be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great. Thou art not without ambition, yet without the illness should attend it. Wouldst thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet would falsely win. Hie thee thither, that I may pour my spirits upon thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes the golden round, that fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowned thee withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to see it.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead of breath had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Is not our master with him, who, were it not so, would have informed for preparation? We'll bring him tidings. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, they've coaxed the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you murdering ministers! The tender mortal thoughts unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the top, full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood and stop up the passage and access to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shall fell my purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come, spirits, to my womanly breasts, and take my milk for gold, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall me in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife know not the wound it makes, nor heaven cry beyond the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, to the all hail hereafter. Your letters have transported me beyond this ignorant presence, and I now feel the future any instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, you must look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Be like the innocent flower, yet be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Where all our days and nights to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We shall speak first.
Only look up clear. To alter ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air doth nimbly and sweetly recommend itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting Marlon, does approve by his beloved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. There is no jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but that this bird does make his procreant bed and cradle. I have observed, where they most nest and breed, the air is delicate.
See our noble hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how to bid God yield us for your pain and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and the other dignities heaped upon them, we rest your hermits.
Where is the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides fast, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever themselves, and what is theirs in comp to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and will continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then so will it were done quickly. If the assassination can tremble up the consequence and capture his CDC success, but this blow may be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instructions which being taught returned to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He is here in double trust. First as I am his kingsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, and as his host, usually against the murderer, shot the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan had won his faculty so meek, had been so great in his office that his virtues would be like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast or heaven's cherubim upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the hoary deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which only leaps itself and falls on the other. Oh, now, what news?
He is almost stopped. Why have you left the chamber?
Oh, they answer me.
How do you know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought all sorts of goading opinions, which would be worn now and in you as gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the whole drunk wherein you dressed yourself? And wakes it now so pale and green, and what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Although I fear to be the same in thy act and valor as so art in desire, waiting upon I dare not, upon I would, like a poor cat to the adage.
Pretay beast! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dare do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be so much more than that, you would be so much more the man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, and yet does unmake you. They have made themselves, and in their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it were smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, and I so sworn as you had done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather his hard day's journey shall soundly invite him, his two chamberlains with I, with wine and with sailors, so convince that memory, the water of the brain, to be a limbeck only, when in swinish sleep they lie as in a drenched nature's death. What can you and I not perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What cannot you and I put upon these spongy officers that make their guilt upon our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received, or we have marked bloody those sleepy two their daggers think they have done it?
Who dares receive its other? As we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
I have settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this feat. Away and mock the time with fairer show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and hath sent out great largesse to your offices. With smiles and a diamond he greets your wife in the name of most gracious hostess, and is shut up with complete contentment.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to the fact. which yours is free to rot.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you, they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat, an hour to serve, when we were spending some words upon business, if you grant me the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, I shall make honor for you.
I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not yet, I see thee still. Art thou not but a fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Art thou but a dagger of mind, of false creation from this heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, and form is palpable, as thou now wilt shalt draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, such an instrument I was to use. My mind made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade dungeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs dust to mine eyes. Now ere the one half word nature seems dead, the wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and within murder, luring by his sentinel, the wolf, whose houses watch. Thus with his stealthy pace, with talk and ravishing strides, towards his designs moves, like a ghost. Thou sure and firm, said Earth, hear not my steps for which way they walk. For fear that very stones pray to my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. While I threat, he lives, whereof to the heats of deed two breath gives. I go, 'tis done. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
What hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal entrance that gave the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their posits that death and nature do not contend about them whether they live or die.
Who's there? What?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awakened and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. I laid their daggers ready. He could not have missed them. Had he not looked like my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Did thou not hear noise?
I heard the owl shriek and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
Is thou descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Payne.
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
One did laugh in his sleep and the other cried murder. That they had seen me with this hangman hands, I could not say amen.
They're too lodged together.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing and amen stuck in my throat.
But look, these deeds must not be after these ways, so they will make us mad.
He thought I had a voice cry sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep.
For love purpose. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. Give me the daggers. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears the painted devil. I'll smear the sleeping grooms with blood, and if they awaken, I'll do the bloody daggers myself, for I must see their guilt! My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. There is knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not to know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I wish thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hell's Gate, he shall turn old. He shall have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer who hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins enough about you. Here you sweat for it. Who's there? Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Why, here's an equivocator who swore in both scales against either scale, who committed treason for God's sakes, yet could not equivocate himself to heaven. Come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who is there? Here's an English tailor. Come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your ghost. Knock, 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 never at quiet. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought of letting some of the biggest professions who go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon! Remember the porter!
Was it so late, friend, that you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Fate, sir. We were caroused until the second clock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
And what three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir. Nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir. It provokes and unprovokes. It provides the desire, but diminishes the performance. Therefore, Much drink can be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It persuades him and disheartens him, equivocates him into a sleep, and giving him the lie, leads him.
I believe drink gave you that lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie.
Is thy master stirring?
And I think being too strong for him, though he took up my leg sometimes, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Unknocking has awaked him, here he comes.
Good more or both?
Is the king stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know 'tis a joyful trouble for you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold a call, for 'tis my limited service.
Oh, the night was so unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, the lamentings in the air, strange screams of death and prophesying with accents terrible. The upscale bird clamored the livelong night, and some say that the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it. Horror. 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Most sacrilegious murder had broke open the Lord's anointed temple and stole hence the life of the building.
What is it you say, the life?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bells! Murder and treason! Malcolm and Donalbain, awake! Shake off this dowdy sleep, death's counterfeit. And look upon death itself. Oh, see the great doom's image. Malcolm and Donalbain! What's the matter? As if from your graves rise and walk like sprites to counter us this horror. Ring the bell!
Had I died but an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time, for from this moment, from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are. He'd not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Mean you his majesty? Banquo! Banquo, our royal master is murdered.
You set a guard where my son Fleance does rest, and fetch hence my uncle, the doctor.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and their faces were covered with blood. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be a mate, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in moments? No man! The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with golden blood, and his gash stab looks like breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmanly breached with gore. Who could refrain that a heart to love and in the heart that courage to make love's known?
While to hold our tongues that most may make this argument for hours?
What should be spoken here? Where our fate may rush and seize us. Let's away. Our tears are not yet rued, nor strong sorrow upon foot of motion. What would you do? To show unfelt emotion is an office a false man does easy. Out to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separated fortune shall keep us both safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smile. The near blood, the nearer bloody.
This murder shaft is shot. It's not lighted. Our safest way is to avoid aim. Therefore, to horse, and let us not be dainty with leave taking, but shift away. It's warned in a death that steals itself when mercy is not left.
Someone look to the lady of this house. And when we have our naked frailties hid, which suffer by exposure, let us take some time to consider this most bloody business. Fears and scruples do shake us. In the hand of God stand I.
As do I.
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those Macbeth has slain.
Last the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, have stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still. Thriftless ambition now will raven up thine own lives means. This means the sovereignty likely would fall upon Macbeth.
He's already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to CUOMO, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardians of their bones.
Were you to school?
No, cousin. Out to Fife.
I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robe sit easier than our new.
Farewell.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I request your presence.
Aye, my good lord.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We shall have else desired your good advice, which still have been both grave and prosperous. In this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must be the borrower of a dark hour or two.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, of confessing their crude parasite, filling their hearers with strange invention, but of that tomorrow. When therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to the horse, adieu to your return night. Goes your son Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so do I commend you to their backs. Farewell. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Bangor stake deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear. And under him, my genius is rebuked, as is said Mark Antony stood by Caesar. He shied the sisters when he first put the name of king upon me, and bade them to speak to him. And then, prophet-like, they hailed him a father to line of kings. Upon my head they place a fruitless crown and puts a barren scepter on my grip. Thence to be wrenched with an unleaning hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filled my mind, for them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rances of the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them king, to say the Banquo kings! Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches?
You made it known to us.
Know that it was he in the times past, which I held you so unfortunate, which this I made good to you.
I am a man, my liege.
Aye, you casting all ego for men. This says hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, showls, water rods, and demi wolves, all clapped by the names of dog.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world. So weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid of it.
Now you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of my being thrust against the nearest of life. And though I could, with bare face, power sweep it from my sight, and bid I will avouch it for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose love I may not drop but fail, who I must struck down. And as it is, that I to your assistance do make love mask in the business to the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
I shall, my lord, perform what you command me.
Your spirit shines through you. I would advise you all time to acquaint yourselves, acquaint you the perfect spare time and mode of it, for it must be done tonight. And something from this palace always thought that it required a clearness with it. And leave no rubs, no blotches in the work. His son Fleance, whose company he keeps, whose absence is no less material to me, must abate the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies in your companion's making? Those without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself while our poor mouth remains in danger of our former tooth. But let the frame of things destroyed, both the worlds suffer. Here we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shakes us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we gain our peace we have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lay in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in this grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done us worse. No still, no poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord. Sleep o'er your good looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo, present him with eminence, both of eye and tongue, and say the while that we must lave the honors in these flattering streams to make our face visits our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not eternal.
This comfort yet. They are saleable.
What's to be done?
The innocent of the knowledge there is Chuck, to thou plot a deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of a pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invincible hand, cancel and tear to pieces the great bond that keeps me pale. Dickens and curl may swing to the rocky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, all nights like ancients they praise and rouse.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say that things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he is dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk in too late. Who cannot the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father. Damned fact. How it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear? And I do think they had Duncan's sons under his keys, and please heaven, he shall not. They should find what were to kill the father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words and cause, he failed. His presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace.
Thrice the branded cat hath mewed. Ooh, but a pricking on my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks. Yeah.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poison interest.
Double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Told that under cold stone days and nights had 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in thy charmed pot.
Double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Eye of newt and tongue of toad frog, wolf, bat, and tongue of dog. Adder, spook, and a blind word stink.
Toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. more gulp of the raving salt sea shark, roof of hemlock, deep in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of mule, slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and tart his lips, finger of a birth-strangled babe, ditched delivered by a whore, make the gruel thick and slab, and thereto a tiger's cord, for the ingredients of our code. Double toilet trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble. Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but see thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macbeth! Beware the fatal five! Dismiss me! In the name!
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Now as heart my fears are right, but one question more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first.
Macbeth! And on 3 ears I hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Lapsus for the power of man, none of woman nor child
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear thee? But yet, I'll make a sure double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear that lies, and then sleep in spite of thunder. What is this? That rises like an issue of a king. The wears upon his brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Be lying unto proud and take no care, who runs in chains and where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great burning wood to high Jocelyn Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodiment, good. Rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Burnham rise. And our high place Macbeth shall live the least of nature, pay his breath till time and mortal custom. Yet, my heart stops to know one thing. Tell me, if your heart can tell you so much, shall bankers issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Say it if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or our masters.
I'll be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you.
Show.
Let me know.
The land.
Why sings this cauldron? And what noise is this? Thou art like the spirit of Banquo down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brows like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hands! Why do you show me this? A fourth? Start eyes! What? Will the light stretch out the crack of doom? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who be as a glass which shows me many more, and some I see the twofold balls and trebles scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and pointed them for his.
What have you done to make him fly the land? You must have patience, madam. He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. You know not whether it was his wisdom nor his fear. Wisdom? To leave his wife, to leave his kids, to leave his mansions and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight. Buzz, I pray you school yourself. But as for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, best known fits the season. I dare not speak further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors, and do not know ourselves, but hold rumor to what we fear, but not know what we fear. But float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and none. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessings upon you. Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless. I am such a fool, shall I stay any longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once. Sarah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What? With worms and flies?
What I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou's never feared a net nor a line.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds do not set poor. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. Well, what will you do for a father?
More like how will thou do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
And you'll buy 'em to sell again?
You speak with all thy wit, and yet, in faith, with enough wit for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one who swears and lies.
Be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. For there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang them up.
Oh, God, help me. Now, God help thee, poor monkey, how thou talks.
But what would thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If he were not, it were a sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame. Oh, I am not to you known, though of your high position I do know. I fear some danger does approach you nearly. If you would take a homely man's advice, please do not be found in this place. Hence quickly with your little ones. Oh, to fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. But there are others who would do worse to you. Fell cruelty is near upon you. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I've done no harm. But I remember now, I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable. To do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly. So why do I put up this womanly defense to say that I've done no harm? Where's your face?
Where's your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified as such as thou may find him.
Husband is a traitor.
Thou liar!
He's killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there leave our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword like good men, bestride our downfall and birthdom. In each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven in the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
But I believe I will, I know I believe. And when it can be just as just our fine time to friend, I will. What you spoke may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blesses our tongue, was once thought honest, and you loved him well. He has not harmed you yet.
See who goes in. This is my ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, be time to move the means that makes us strangers. What is the newest grief?
Each minute teems a new one.
How does my children?
Why, well.
And my wife?
Well, too.
The tyrant hath not batted at their peace.
They were at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a niggard in your speech, how goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed, the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time for help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be to their comfort. Gracious England has lent us 10,000 men.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert's air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? Is it a general cause or some fee grief due to some single breast?
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the query of these murdered deer to add the death of you.
My children, too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from hence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
He has no children. Oh, my pretty one. Did you say all? Oh, hell, God. All? What? All my pretty chickens in that dam in one fell swoop. I could play the woman with mine eyes or the braggart with my tongue. But gentle heaven, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring down this fiend of Scotland and myself, set him within my sword's wing. And if he escape, heaven forgive him too.
With you for 3 nights watched, and you received no truth to your reports. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock the closet, take wood paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this in the most fast sleep.
A great perturbation of the spirit, to receive at once the benefits of sleep and to do the effects of walking. Besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I shall not repeat after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet that you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Look, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep.
How came she by that light?
Lion stood by her. She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
This is an accustomed action with her, thus seem washing her hands. I've known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
And here's a spot. Hark, she speaks. Out, damn spot, out, I say!
To do it then. Fine, my lord, fine. A soldier in the field? What needs we fear, who knows it, but none can call our power to account. Yet, who would that field man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The thing of fight had a wave. Where is she now? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this starting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
It's the smell of the blood. Still. All the perfumes in Arabia could not sweeten this little hand. Oh. 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 Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Ben was buried. He cannot come out in his grave.
This is beyond my practice.
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. Come, come, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she now go to bed?
Directly to bed. I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God be, sir.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Troubled mind to their deaf pillows will unleash their secrets. More need she the divine than the physical. God, oh God, please remove from her all that troubles her, yet keep an eye on her. Amen. I must go. Good night. My mind she has hated and amazed my sight. I think dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Now does he feel his secret murders sticking to his hands?
The English power is near, led by Malcolm and Macduff.
Revenge is burning them for their dear causes.
Near Burnham Wood shall we meet them.
The castle he greatly fortifies.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Some say he's mad. Those that lesser hate him call it valiant fury.
Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
He cannot buckle his cause within the belt of rule.
Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love.
Now we make our march towards Burnham.
We shall march on.
Well, we march on to give obedience where it is truly owed.
Bring me no more reports. Let them all fly. Till Burnham Wood removed to destiny, and I cannot think with fear. What's that boy Malcolm, was he? Not born of a woman? Spirits that no mortal consequence have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man thus born of a woman shall ever have power upon thee. Then fly, false stains, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. Thou cream-faced wench, where goes that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, wench?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face over red thy fear. What soldier's patch?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Ah. What news more? I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed, yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Skirt the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me my armor! How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, but troubled by thick coming fantasies which keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou no minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory of a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it.
Yeah.
Come, put mine armor on. Give me my stuff. Secton, send out doctors to thank flies from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease and purge it to the sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb senile, what purgative drug should scar these English hens? Hearest thou of them?
Your royal preparation does make us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away free and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here. As I gave treatment to a wound suffered by a woodsman near Burnham, he shared a most interesting report. As he moved through the tall lumbers, he saw many soldiers there, who appeared to be using their swords as axes to hew down branches to carry before them. Among those in the woods also were what appeared to be nobles, and the performance was directed by one whose face would be familiar to any who should take glance thereof. I think, but I dare not speak.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I've almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek and fell in my hair with a dismal treatise roused and stares life were in it. I have supped full of horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been such a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of the recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools to the way of dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. I is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets. His hour upon this stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did take my stand upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, if it be not so. You will see it coming, a moving grove, I tell you.
Fear not, till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane. And now, a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm out! If this which ye avouch does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun and wish the estates of the world come now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Turn, hellhound, turn! I have no words. My sword is my voice now. Blood your villain in turns can give at thee.
Let thy blade fall on vulnerable crest. I bear the charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel who thou still dost serve tell thee Macbeth was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
But cursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. I will not fight with thee.
Then yield, thee coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the times. Oh, we'll have you as we have our rarer monsters, painted and on a pole and underwrit. Here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with these rabbles' curs. Though born would succumb to dust name, and though opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the loss. Before my buddy I throw my warlike shield. Lay on Macduff, and be dead and be him to the first cries. Ah!
Look, our late king's cousin. Does he not favor him?
Hail, King of Scotland! Hail!
We should not spend a large, expensive time before we reckon your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes, kinsmen, for henceforth be earls, the first ever Scotland in such an honor name, and what's more to do, which will be newly planted in time, as to call home our exiled friends from abroad, who fled the snares of a watchful tyranny, producing cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as 'tis thought, by self-inviolate hands took off her life. What needful else remains, by grace of grace. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned in stone.